Okay, mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Hello everyone, it is time for qualifying at one of our very favourite stops on the calendar. It's Albert Park and we're about to take the cars right up to the
Okay, I'm afraid we've been pushed down to P16. one lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty. like we're falling down the field. You've dropped to P6. Come on, we can do better than this.
That is pole position. Wow.
What a lap! Great job, guys.
With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Welcome to magnificent Melbourne in the Australian sun. This is a fantastic city and it's a fantastic and slightly revised racetrack. We're in the great state of Victoria, now 14 corners and 3.28 miles for the drivers to navigate, 5 to the left and 9 to the right. The track has been remodeled to encourage more overtaking. Let's hope we get loads of it today. Race not far away from starting. Here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Sainz, Russell, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Gasly, Magnussen, Ocon, Teo Porcher, Sargent, Last Stroll brings the grid to a close. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside to today's race. Welcome to the commentary box and welcome to Naomi Schiff. I'm Alex Jakes. Naomi, this is going to be interesting. Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How did they change the story today?
It is true, they had a really tough day in the office last time out, but they cannot dwell on that. It's so important to turn the page and start on a blank slate, because the more you dwell on that, the less it's going to push you in the right direction. So take some notes. Obviously, there's things to be learned, but move on.
Radio check.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears. So go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming
Few
up now.
moments time, we have the green flag, and in front of a capacity crowd, 5 lights are on. It's lights out and away we go.
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful. Nice move. Good job. Experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Gap to your teammate behind, 2.6 seconds. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 3.0 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap, 1 minute 20.4. Right, you're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap. Second place, you're in second place. It's Verstappen ahead. They're on old mediums. Norris is behind you. Less than a second separates you. They're on old mediums. And your pit window opens in 2 laps' time. The track is clear, green flag. Okay, Lewis, lap times are a little erratic at the moment. We need consistency, so let's try and stabilise them. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Box, 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 box.
And away we go. No problems, really smooth. Ferrari, no doubt, very happy with that start.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Job, nice overtake. Okay, Lewis, let's try and climb up the order. I'm setting you a new target. Push, push. Charles is in the pits. Okay, really, really good. You hit that target nicely. There's a long way to go in this race, so let's keep it clean. Car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind, running hard tyres. Verstappen's ahead of you, and gap to the car in front, 2.7 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Time last lap, 1:19.5. pace is strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance. It's Verstappen ahead. Okay, gap ahead, 2.1 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Your last lap time, 1 minute 19.5. Norris behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 2 laps old. And the time last lap, 1:19.9. Yellow flag. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, clear. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, gap to the car in front, 1.4 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Time last lap, 1 minute 19.6. This is excellent stuff. You're closing in by 7/10 a lap. Verstappen ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Your last lap time, 1:19.7. This is excellent stuff. You're closing in by 7/10 a lap. Okay, you're within 1 second of the car ahead. Get ready to use DRS for the overtake. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 11.0 seconds. Okay, Lewis, Verstappen's ahead of you. We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push. stuff. It looked like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race. Verstappen's behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 6 laps old. And the time last lap, 1 minute 19.9. Overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Gap to your teammate behind, 9.5 seconds. He might make a mistake. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. The final lap.
awesome job, guys. My apologies for that mistake earlier on. But we live and we learn. On to the next one.
Well done, Maestro.
For the final time.
Yes, nice. Oh, yeah, we're definitely not the quickest out there today, but we did everything well, strategy as well. Yes.
Completely had it under control, and that is a sign of greatness.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.